theatre is about connection, right? And I think we talk and we celebrate about the people on stage quite a lot in various formats. And World Stage Design is the opportunity that happens every 4 years. And it's the first time in this region to celebrate and have conversations about performance design. So what better way to do it? So we knew that we wanted it to focus on how we work more sustainably. So everything we come at, whether it's the exhibition, whether it's one of the other competitions such as Theatre Architecture or Technical Invention Prize, everything has a sustainable lens. But I think there's a huge creative pool here of work happening. And I think, we should be celebrating it way more, and hopefully World Stage Design's a chance to do that.
Welcome to the StageLync podcast, your access and connection to the live performing arts. In this podcast, you'll hear from some of the industry's most inspiring people from around the globe who create magic on stage and backstage. Our guests share their knowledge, passion, and the real stories of how a show comes together. We hope you enjoy this episode. Hi, my name is Robb, and this is the StageLync podcast. And today we're speaking with Jacqui George. Jacqui is Project Director for World Stage Design 2025, co-produced by Sharjah Performing Arts Academy and OISTAT. She played a key role in establishing SPAA's pioneering undergraduate program in the MENA region. Her professional credits include National Theatre Wales, NYT, Shared Experience, and international festivals from Shanghai to Berlin. The Senior Fellow of the HEA, she co-hosted the Stand By Please podcast and co-authored The Art of Collaboration for Routledge, released later this year. Jacqui, welcome to the show.
Hi, Anna. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now, we're going to talk today about the World Stage Design Expo. It's called an expo, right?
Well, it's World Stage Design, but I think Expo is the best way actually to describe it for us to share with everyone what it is. It is sort of the Expo of performance design from around the globe.
Amazing. And so how are those preparations going? What's happening over there?
They're going well. I can't believe if we log on to our registration platform, it gives us a daily countdown. And as the days are ticking down, I think we're like 178 days away from it at the moment. Preparations are good. It's been a long build-up, and I think people are often curious as to what that build-up is. But World Stage Design happens every 4 years. So we knew as Sharjah Performing Arts Academy that we were awarded the 6th edition to co-produce it with OISTAT this year in 2021. So it's been a build-up of putting all of those different components together, and there's 4 main parts to it. And one of those being the exhibition. And we opened applications for designers from across the globe a year ago. And we brought on board an amazing jury of 16 professional theatre practitioners. And they've just finished. We received over 1,000 entries from everywhere in every discipline of design. And they've just finished their choices. So last week, we announced our shortlist of their top 100 that'll be exhibited in Sharjah later this year in October. So it's going well.
Amazing. And how does one get awarded the World Stage Design? What was that process?
Great question. We, as an organising team, we had long conversations amongst ourselves and with OISTAT at the beginning of the process, because one thing OISTAT one of the many things OISTAT are really supportive of is that each edition of World Stage Design is going to be unique and should be sort of really responsive to where it's hosted and what's happening at the time globally and what's happening at the time in the sort of realm of performance design. So we knew that we wanted it to focus on how we work more sustainably. So everything we come at, whether it's the exhibition, whether it's one of the other competitions such as Theatre Architecture or Technical Invention Prize, everything has a sustainable lens. So that was one of the starting points for the criteria. And we also knew we wanted to work with embracing the culture, not only of the region where it's being hosted here, but also how we embrace culture globally in whatever our context is. And also how we take that culture forward. That's not saying that we're not sort of forward looking and future looking, but how do we move forward? How do we innovate and also respect and acknowledge the culture of where we are and where we've come from? So those two themes played a major part in the guidance and criteria that we gave our juries of tomorrow's heritage and also of how we make theatre and performance design the most sustainable it can be.
Amazing. And so what sessions and events in this period are you looking forward to most? I'm sure you've got a bunch.
So many, and it changes. Like one day I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for this. And certainly as a team, when we look at the program, so I've talked a little bit about the exhibition, and we'll have the 100 top designs, and that covers all disciplines from light and sound, set. We've got space and object. We also have Scenofest, which I guess the best way to describe Scenofest is it's like the festival part of the event, and it's where attendees and visitors can get most involved and talk and meet to all the other, not only performance designers, but people who are interested in performance design. They may be new to that world, but there's a whole series of workshops, masterclasses, talks, performances. So whether it's a new world for people and whether it's they've not sort of tread in those paths before, or whether it's somebody really experienced, we hope that there's something for everyone. We're going to be talking soon to Sana Akram with one of her immersive pieces called Alam et Alam. So we're really excited to welcome that. We've also got fantastic regional pieces that are going to be showcased at the event. We knew that we wanted to, because there's maybe two audiences we can see that would be attending World Stage Design. So we've got our incredible community of performance designers that know of OISTAT, that know of the incredible work they do, that have attended previous editions of World Stage Design, and they'll be submitting their designs and offering their workshops. But there's this whole new audience that we can invite from the region, and also a new audience invited to the whole spectrum of performance work that we get here in the region. I think there's been, in the last 4 years, when I've been talking to people internationally, I've had lots of questions. Oh, okay, I didn't realize there was a huge scene in the UAE or in the GCC, and what type of work is happening there. So it feels like there's a real curiosity. So we've tried to reflect that in the programming as well. We've got one incredible piece, a beautiful costume designer from Riyadh, a woman called Noof Malawi. And she has created this. You know, Noof, see, it's a small world. It doesn't matter where you are. So she's bringing one of her costume pieces, and we've commissioned a new dance piece to go with that costume as a response, and that'll be taking place. And then we'll have a talk. It's called Geometry of the Soul. And there'll be a talk to accompany that performance piece over the 8 days. We're also working with an Emirati artist called Abdullah Al-Nayadi, a beautiful, beautiful artist whose work is well known in the region, and we can see it from the Etihad Museum to Al Sakal, all over. And he's making a new piece that'll be a showcase at World Stage Design called Connected Homes. And again, that really rang true to us as a team in terms of looking at heritage. And Abdullah talks beautifully about how he remembers growing up and everyone's front door was open. And we were all connected, and people, as a kid, you'd be in and out of your friend's house or your auntie's house or a family member's house. And he feels like we've lost that somewhere along the line. So we've got this central to the Academy building, and we're hoping that these connected homes piece will connect the exhibition and the designers that are coming globally. And Abdullah also works as an incredible production manager and prop maker in the region as well. So it'd be great to have him there. We have a great translation of the prize-winning novel Drive Your Plans of Plough Over the Bones of the Dead, the Arabic version, which has been, again, performed here but not to a wider global audience. So opening that up and introducing. There's so much more. I could literally go on for hours just about that particular program. There's incredible workshops. We're bringing together a lighting designer and a puppet master to look at how we light puppets.
That's
they get
awesome.
a whole session just to focus on how that in its own is a skill and one to be mastered. So there's lots more coming as well.
That's amazing. And I think what's really good is how much you've incorporated the local and regional participants in that. And I think it's quite timely, I think, too, because that region is, when I think about what's happening globally in terms of theatrical and entertainment, there's a lot going on in that region and a lot of time and effort being put into development. You know, you've been part of the sort of formation of the Performing Arts Academy there. And I know that there's ambitions in the region in Saudi to sort of build the performing arts market as well there. So eyes, money, focus, ambition is in that region. Would you agree?
100%. And I think that now needs to be brought to whilst there's a real ambition here to grow that as an ecosystem, I think it's already well known for the scale of events that are produced here. And I think to open that out wider to the realm of performance, theatrical, dance, plays, whatever that may be, not only so we can see it here on our doorstep, but also share globally what's happening here. But I don't think that's talked about enough, actually, in terms of absolutely there is a huge thirst for developing talent, for training, and for making sure that people here have the right skills to do that. But I think there's a huge creative pool here of work happening. And I think we should be celebrating it way more. And hopefully World Stage Design's a chance to do that.
Yeah. With all of that resources and talent in the region, how have you chosen what you've chosen? That must have been a bit of a task.
Yes, it was. And it's something that's continually evolving. And although, like you said, I'm project director, we have a small organizing team. But also it's not just my decision. So there's a really clear direction from OISTAT in terms of what they want to see there. We listen to the commission chairs in terms of what they want to bring. So we put out a call to them and said, let us know what your ideas are in terms of workshops, what's been done previously, what works, what they want to see more of. So that was our first starting point, and that made up a certain amount and body of the Senior First program. So there'll be familiar aspects in there. For example, we've got Tessa Rickson, who is this incredible researcher and academic who works in Australia. She's put together a whole one-day research symposium around the themes of WSD 25. So there's those sort of regular touch points that we can see happening. That was the first point. We need to engage a new audience. I think we have a responsibility to grow that new audience. We put out a public call. So we saw brilliant submissions then from people who may not be familiar to the OISTAT community. We have a lighting designer from the Philippines who talks about color dramaturgy in lighting design and how, in a Western perspective, what we might think as one aspect of storytelling is completely different to and how he uses lighting design. And he uses an example of a production he lit of Romeo and Juliet. So there's that open call. And then we also went and spoke to people. We spoke to a lot of people regionally about what they wanted to see and what they wanted to produce as well. So it's been a real journey, and it's been a sort of a gathering along the way of people and the continuous conversation, like we had a brilliant 10 days at Sikka Art and Design Festival in Dubai. And we just met a whole new community of artists and designers and theatre practitioners, and talk to them about what they would imagine seeing at such an event here. So it's been a real sort of summary of parts, but the OISTAT input, the public call, and then the regional sort of voice as well are the main ways we've gathered all of those different things. So we really do feel that there's something for everyone.
Mm. Okay, theatre and design professionals, here's a must-add to your calendar. World Stage Design 2025 is happening in Sharjah, UAE from October 18th to 25th. This global event celebrates the best in performance design, featuring a compelling exhibition, the Theatre Architecture Competition, the Technical Invention Prize, and SinoFest, packed with talks, workshops, masterclasses, and live performances. Now in its 6th edition, this quadrennial event is co-produced by OISTAT and Sharjah Performing Arts Academy, with support from Sharjah's Development of Culture, the Ministry of Culture Taiwan, venue partner Sharjah Research and Technology Innovation Park, official build partner Talex, and logistics partner EFM Global. With sponsors like Charcoal Blue, First Star Computer, Showtex and more, this is where creativity meets the heritage and future of tech, art and architecture in live events. We're looking at tickets for Sharjah this October. Are you? Find out more at www.sharjahwsd2025.com. For our audience who haven't actually may have heard of OISTAT, can you explain to them who and what they are?
Yes, absolutely. OISTAT are the International Organization of Scenographers and Theatre Technicians and Architects as well. Head office is based in Taiwan. It's been there. Oh my gosh, now I'm going to be put to the test. I believe it was 2013. They have an amazing team of people there on the ground that hold this community together. And then outside of that, there are these OISTAT centres across the world where it's a common place for designers, theatre technicians, architects to come together as a community. Because I think in lots of realms of the theatre and performance world, we're quite used to working on our own, right? Like, so designers will work as a designer on the show, and there may be a set and a costume designer or a puppet designer or whatever is unique to that. But other than that, you don't really get the chance to work or talk with many other designers. You might have the ones in your direct network or pool that you come into contact with when you're not busy or working on a new project or production. The same goes for stage managers and technicians. You see them, you kind of work in isolation, and then you may come across, like, I know there's stage managers who I know, but I don't know. Like, I'll be connected with them on LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever, but we've never actually worked together. We just kind of cross paths. So OISTAT's a fantastic way for that community and that network to grow. They have these incredible commissions, which focuses on each discipline. So there's a education commission, a research commission, publication, lighting, sound, and they each then focus on their own particular areas and what is required. So they really listen to the members' voices and what wants to come out of that. So they're like a global network of designers that can come together in their common communities, but also then they're a community with wherever they are in the world. So last November, the OISTAT Centre in Bucharest in Romania had a fantastic biennale that I went to for a few days. And again, just celebrating the scenography work and design work that's coming out of Romania at the moment. And again, we have a great contingent from Romania coming. There's various pieces of work. So we have one performance piece called Transcendent Renaissance, and hopefully that's going to take place at Maliha Desert. And that's from Kalin Topa and his team. We have Adrian Damian, who does beautiful work, often seen in the PQ in the Prague Quadrennial as well. So it's a real coming together. It's a real sort of celebration of all these people that sort of work wherever they work over the 4 years, and then they come together and there's a huge amount of conversation and just exploration as well.
Yeah, I really like how you said that, you pointed out that they work in isolation and designers. And it's so true, because especially on the projects that I've worked on recently, there might be a week or two where you come together to work, but it's not day to day. You go back to your home country and you're doing your bits and pieces, but you don't get to hang out at the coffee machine and talk and brainstorm. And designers and creatives, feed off each other in that environment. So, hosting and creating spaces for them to learn from each other, communicate, find ideas, all that sort of stuff sounds super cool. How long does this World Stage Design go for? And like, in what kind of geographic location is it in terms of across multiple properties? Is it in one location? Tell us how that looks.
Yeah, so World Stage Design 25 takes place over 8 days. So we open on October the 18th, and then it'll close the following Saturday on the 25th of October. Those 8 days are packed. So from 10 a.m. in the morning till 10 p.m. in the evening, there's a program full of the different activities, performances, and the exhibitions. All of that activity is taking place within the Emirates, although we do have one aspect that's going to look at the Architecture Commission is looking at a tour that it takes in some of the incredible buildings we see across the other Emirates and wider Sharjah, such as Khor Fakkan and in Dubai, etc. So the three main sites within Sharjah, and they're sort of responsive of what's being held there. So the theatre architecture competition is being held in an area called the Heart of Sharjah. And that's where the original village would have been and would have grown out of and from. It's in a house, an old heritage house called Beit Ubaid al-Shamsi. And we believe he was a merchant, probably a pearl merchant. And there's a stunning, as it is with houses in this part of the world, a central courtyard. So we put the call out. It's called the Theatre of Possibilities. And it's looking at performance space in response to that courtyard. So being used for 6 months of the year, looking at the local, the materials they used in that context. So they use coral for building, etc. So the exhibition for that will be in that space. And we have some beautiful performance is happening in that courtyard as well. We have the choreography project. Chloe from Hong Kong is bringing a piece called Maybe Tomorrow. Also, then we have up at the Sharjah Research and Technology Park and Innovation Park, which is just the other side of Sharjah within University City. We have our Technical Invention Prize. The theatre architecture competition has just closed. We have our 5 international jury, and they're busy looking at all of those entries and having discussions about which ones they want to talk more about. The Technical Invention Prize is still open for submissions until July, but we're looking for a response, and this is done in conjunction with the Technology Commission, as a problem solved we often find backstage. So it could be a certain visual effect that you need to happen. It could be something that makes a technician's job so much more smoother and more reliable. That's going to be held at the Sharjah Research and Technology Park because it's a huge building that sees all these innovation companies and entrepreneurs that are sort of groundbreaking SMEs within Sharjah. So that's taking place up there. And then the exhibition and a lot of the Cinefest activity is taking place within Sharjah Performing Arts Academy.
Amazing. No, that sounds super cool. And how much, how do you get tickets? How much does it cost? And do you have to buy for different things, or are you just a blanket ticket?
Oh, well, hopefully, I hope everyone agrees with me, but we wanted to keep it as straightforward and as accessible as possible. So tickets are available. It's on if you head to our website, which is, she says, just double checking, sharjahwsd2025.com, and it'll have the ticket link there. And you can access all exhibitions, competitions, every session, workshop, performance for 250 dirham. So what's that, dollars? Sterling, that's about £50. My
for the whole 8 days?
Yes, just the one ticket for the 8 days. And even if you go, do you know what? Actually, I can't make it. I can only make it for 2 days. There's a day pass for 50 dirham. So hopefully it makes it really straightforward and simple and makes it accessible that people can access everything that they want to. But every session naturally will have a capacity. So we are advising people to get a ticket, and I know that some of them are going to go straight away because they're going to be really popular.
Amazing. And is there two other questions? Is there any sort of way for the people to see anything online? Is that a possibility, or it's got to be there in person?
The majority of content will be in person. We will have small amounts available online, and afterwards the catalogue of the exhibitors will be available digitally. So we absolutely want to share that with everyone. But the hive of activity will definitely be in person in Sharjah in October.
Amazing. And because you're a local there, what do people do for accommodation if they're coming to Sharjah and want to be there?
Oh, yeah. Do you know what? There's so much choice. We have an amazing logistics manager on our team, and we've spent the last couple of months. I think I've just visited every hotel in Sharjah, which has been amazing because you get some of the most incredible hospitality you can get. So there's something for everyone. And I really do believe there's something for every budget. I think there's this misconception that maybe in the part of the world we're in, you can only get the sort of 5-star gold-plated experience. But there's something for every budget in the UAE. So from accommodation, from 2-star all the way through to 5-star. On our website, that we have a visiting Sharjah page, and we've got this whole, accommodation, how to get there, where to eat, how to get to the dentist if you need it. So the best thing to do for hotels, or any information about the best way to experience Sharjah, and also what I recommend if you are coming to Sharjah, if it's the first time that people are going to venture, is that absolutely spend your time experiencing world stage design. But also there's so much to see elsewhere here in the Emirate as well, in terms of different galleries, Sharjah Art Foundation, museums. But do that obviously after you've attended WSD. But head to the website, look at the Visit Sharjah page, and all of that information is on there in detail, so you can pick the best accommodation that suits you the most.
Amazing. Awesome. Is there anything else you want to sort of say to our guests about our listeners about World Stage Design before we finish up?
Yeah, I guess there'll be listeners who will absolutely know what it is and will absolutely know what they're hoping to come for an experience. And I hope we hit that nail on the head for them. There may be listeners out there as well who have never heard of it, don't know what it is. And I think if there's that part of curiosity, I really would encourage everyone, just if they can, to come and experience it, because theatre is about connection, right? And I think we talk and we celebrate about the people on stage quite a lot in various formats. And World Stage Design is the opportunity that happens every 4 years. And it's the first time in this region to celebrate and have conversations about performance design. Better way to do it.
I love that. And I think it's a great place to have it. And it's a great group of people to bring out, because we're all a bunch of theatre nerds at the end of the day, aren't we?
100%.
Well, Jacqui, I wish you all the best for the remaining planning leading up to the event. And I do actually hope to get over there for it. So I do want to get there and see all the things that you've arranged. But if not, best of luck. And hope for all our guests and listeners that a few of you will go and check it out, because they've done so much amazing work to get it together. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Anna.
Thank you for listening to the StageLync podcast. StageLync is an online platform that gives you access and connection to the live performing arts. As a guest, you can read about live performing arts from across the globe and gain insights from performers and artists on stage and all the amazing people who work behind the curtain. If you are an industry professional, StageLync Pro offers jobs, networks, and career support tools, and you can build your own professional profile on the site. As a StageLync podcast listener, you are eligible for 20% off your StageLync Pro membership. Visit us at stagelync.com, and when joining, use the code SLPodcast. StageLync, that's Stagelync.com.